he got a letter from his he got a letter from his sister, and to her dad and mom, and of course the boy. My grandpa's name was Henry. He had a long white beard and everything when I finally knew him. Anyway, he got a letter from his sister, and his sister wrote in there that, he said to his dad, he said, Dad, he said, I got a letter from Anna today, and she says in there that you don't have to go to the army or the war in the United States of America, and you also get to eat all the meat you want. And he liked meat, I guess. So, now, of course, they were talking German. See, they didn't know English. So then his dad said to him, son, Henry, that would be the son now, said that, well, son, that's right. You can do, you're 17, you'll be 18 pretty quick. You can do what you want to. But he says, you probably will never get back to the family or any of us, because that's a long ways, and you had to go by ship, not plane. They didn't have airplanes yet, And then you, like I said, you wouldn't get back. You'd probably never see him again. So he decided to do that. He said, well, he guessed he'd leave. So, so he packed up what little clothes he had in a bag, hung it on his shoulder. They took him to a ship, big ship, and sent him to New York, United States. That's on the edge of the Atlantic Ocean. And he got there, 7 or 8 days later he got there. And then he got off the ship, but he didn't have no money. So there was another older guy there that kind of rode with him, I guess, or something. And so he asked him if he could borrow $5 so he'd get something to eat. So, and then he said he would send it to him, So he did that. So when he got off the ship, then he got something to eat, and then he right away looked for a job. And he found a job right away. And I don't know where, but he found a job right away. So then he'd get some money. And I don't know where he slept or anything like that, but I suppose outside, they just like hobos, they just homeless people, So anyway, then he continued doing that. And then as soon as he'd get enough money, then he would keep going west. So he wanted to get to Iowa down here, around us, and see his sister. That's where he was going to eventually go to see and stay there. So about every few weeks he'd get a little further. Then he got into whatever state was over there. Then pretty soon he got as far as let's say he got as far as Illinois. Well, then the next one would be Iowa. See, took him 6 months to get to his sister, because he had to work and he had to walk a lot. He didn't get to ride everywhere. He wanted to go west. So he finally got here. And then he lived with his sister for a while, and then I don't know. From there on, he found a wife, and somehow or another. And in them days, the government would start you farming free, but you had to get some horses, a couple of horses, and you had to get a little one-thing plow, and you can't imagine what it was. I can kind of vaguely remember because I've saw all that stuff, But he worked very hard, and he eventually got 3 or 4 little farms, and then, let's see, did he ever drive an automobile? No, they never had cars yet when he finally died. He rode in them, but he never owned one. So Anyway, then he ended up one wife. He had a bunch of kids, and then that wife died, and then he got another one. Altogether, he had 14 kids, and yeah, 14, and so on. And one of them was my dad. See, so then my dad had us 8 children, and now then I had my 6 children, and that's one of them. This is the way it. See, from Germany on the ship to New York, and then slowly to Iowa. He had to go through all them states over there, see. Then when he got here, of course, then through time, there were people who talked German. There was what's called a high or low German, and there was a little difference, but not a lot. But in time, he had to learn English. He never went to school. I don't know if he probably went, I think he went to the 3rd grade in Germany in school, as far as he got, and they quit, because they had to work. So, in essence, this is what we're this bunch here, dates clear back to this guy in Germany and a mother, see, and then my mother and her family also came from Germany, see, years and years ago. See, all the people in the United States came from somewhere, except the Indians, somehow or another, that they must have been, God might have made them and put them in the United States. See, and then that's it.
Be fruitful, multiply.
So, yes.
Yep.
So this is the story of how hard at times it was back in them days. They had no tractors. They scooped all the snow by hand. They scooped manure by hand. They didn't have a washing machine. They had to rub them clean on a board. They have nothing. So can you imagine living like that? No. No.
No Sky Zone, no
What are you
water
doing?
parks, no iPads.
You're running all, you're recording all this stuff.